What if I told you that the game we all know, the one with pristine grass courts and super high-tech rackets, actually started with a bunch of French monks just hitting a ball with their bare hands? Well, today we're digging into the surprising and, let's be honest, kind of bizarre history of tennis. Let's get right into it.
So you probably know the big names, right? Federer, Serena Williams, Nadal. Maybe you've even got a pretty solid backhand yourself. But believe me, the story of tennis is so much bigger than what you see on center court. It is packed with these incredible twists, really quirky traditions, and feats of human ability that are, well, they're just going to blow your mind. So let's put it to the test. How much do you really know?
All right, let's start with just a number. 700 plus. Any guesses? The number of aces in a championship match? Maybe the top speed of a serve? Nope, not even close.
That's right, over 700 years. The game we watch today, with all its explosive power and incredible athleticism, actually has roots that stretch all the way back through the centuries, back to a time when those French monks were playing let's just say, a very different kind of ball game.
And this was it. Its direct ancestor was a game called Jeu de Paume, which literally means game of the palm. So yeah, forget graphite rackets, this was a handball game, played in monastery courtyards. You can just imagine how that started. It's from these really humble, and I'm guessing pretty painful beginnings that modern tennis was eventually born.
Okay, so if we're going to talk about modern tennis, there is one place that is basically a cathedral to the sport, Wimbledon. This is where the game as we know it was really forged, full of history and tradition. And just look at this timeline for a second. The very first tournament was held way back in 1877. That makes it the oldest tennis tournament in the entire world. And then, just 10 years later, they introduced that iconic men's singles trophy. Yep, the one every champion dreams of hoisting over their head. You can almost feel the weight of all that history just by looking at those famous grass courts.
But of course, Wimbledon is just one piece of the puzzle. To really get tennis, we got to look at the tools of the trade, the court, the ball, and all the rules that shape every single match.
You know, some of the things we just assume have always been there are either fundamental to the game or they're surprisingly new. That simple rule about the line always being in, it's literally the difference between victory and defeat. And that bright yellow ball, get this, it used to be white. They only changed it to yellow in 1986, and purely so we could see it better on TV. And then there's the court itself. Whether it's the lightning-fast grass of Wimbledon, the slow, gritty clay of the French Open, or the hard courts, each surface completely changes the game.
But tennis isn't just about history and rules, right? It's a sport of supreme athletes pushing the absolute limits of what a human being can do. And this is where the story gets truly jaw-dropping.
11 hours and 5 minutes. Just let that number sink in for a second. That is longer than a flight from New York to Rome. It's longer than binge-watching an entire season of most TV shows, and it is the length of a single tennis match.
This was the ultimate test of endurance in sports history. This epic battle between John Isner and Nicolas Mahut at Wimbledon back in 2010, it went on for 3 grueling days. I mean, it was just a legendary display of physical stamina and pure, unadulterated mental willpower.
Okay, so we've seen the ultimate in endurance. Now let's flip to the complete opposite end of the spectrum, pure explosive power. How fast do you think a human being can possibly hit a tennis ball with a racket?
263 kilometers per hour. For those of us in the States, that is a staggering 163.7 miles per hour. I mean, to put that into perspective, that's faster than a lot of high-speed trains. It's just a literal blur of energy, a missile coming right off the racket. And it's when you put these two records side by side that you really see the beautiful paradox of tennis. On one hand, you've got Sam Groth's blistering, instantaneous power, and on the other, you have the marathon, the grueling, never-ending endurance of Isner and Mahut. It's that incredible combination of explosive energy and unwavering stamina that makes this sport just so compelling to watch.
But beyond the crazy records, tennis is a sport that is just full of personality. It has these unique traditions and stories of athletes who are, well, they're nothing short of legendary. Have you ever wondered why a score of 0 is called love? It is one of the sport's most charming and, frankly, bizarre quirks. The most popular theory takes us all the way back to its French roots. The word love means egg, and an egg, well, it kind of looks like a 0, right? So next time you hear a player is up 15 love, you're basically hearing 15 egg. A little less romantic maybe, but a fantastic piece of trivia. And check this out. Here's a tradition that might seem a little cruel. So, you battle for 2 weeks straight to win the most prestigious tournament on the planet. You've poured out all your blood, sweat, and tears. And the champion doesn't actually get to keep the trophy. Nope. The original stays at the club, and the winner gets to take home a little replica. Talk about a tough checkout policy, huh?
And finally, we have to talk about a story that just redefines the word legend. In 2017, Serena Williams, one of the greatest athletes of all time, period, competed in and won the Australian Open without dropping a single set. That's an incredible achievement on its own. But the world only found out later that she did the entire thing while she was 8 weeks pregnant. It's a feat of strength, of focus, of sheer determination that is it's absolutely staggering. It really puts her in a league all her own.
So there you have it. A sport that was born from a simple handball game played by monks that now showcases the absolute extremes of human endurance and power, from the game of the palm to serves that are faster than a bullet train. It really makes you wonder, after all these centuries of incredible evolution, what's the next chapter for tennis even going to look like? What boundaries are even left to be broken?